Valentine's edition of WEF Weekly, and wishing everyone everything, all the best out there as well. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and gifts and love is arriving by the plentiful boatload wherever you are right now around the world. We're going to be showing some love for the hunters today, and also putting a big heart around the successes of last week as well. We've got lots coming up for you to discuss. We're going to cover a wide range of what's been going on in the equestrian world here at Wellington International. And it's an exciting day because it's Valentine's Day. Here we go. Well, welcome to the Winter Equestrian Festival. Like I say, it is a big week. It includes the World Championship Hunter Rider Spectacular this week. We've got jumping coming up for you. We review last week's big 5-star Grand Prix and the 2-star action as well. And this week's Cast Grand Prix as well. Cast, great to have them on board. Based in Italy, specialising in developing, designing and manufacturing high-level safety helmets as well. And also our streaming brought to you by Dodd Technologies each week here at Wellington as well. Of course, we bring you lots of the big classes too, but they have a great history in equestrian sport and sport as a whole, from the NFL to the NBA to IndyCars to the FEI World Cup finals as well. They're a wonderful supporter here at Wellington too this year. And also brought to you with funding from the US Equestrian and USEF network as well. We're joining that this year, which has been a great addition to our roster of ways that you can watch the programs here from WEF Weekly as well. And I can say we've got a lovely lineup coming up for you too as part of this Valentine's special. Like I say, we're going to be showing love to all of those around the showgrounds, and I'm delighted to say I've got 3 lovely guests joining me as well for a wonderful week. We're going to cover the full gambit this week too. We're going to cover hunters, we're going to cover jumpers, and I'm delighted to say John French literally has just arrived from the rings as well. John, a very good evening to you, and thank you for making it.
Thank you for asking me.
It's been a busy day for you.
Yeah, I just this minute jumped off a horse and ran over. So
still awaiting your scores yet, I think, from that point of view. But
well, my last ride's in first place, so that's good.
That's fine. We'll leave it at that. Everybody hold on everything. And joining us too is Grace Debney, twice winner of Grand Prix so far this season. Grace, a very good afternoon to you.
Thank you.
It's been an exciting few weeks for you.
Yeah, very exciting. I've had some good luck.
You've had some good luck and some good talent as well. And Amanda had a fantastic week last week. Fidelity Investments Grand Prix winner Darragh Kenny, #1 in the 5-star Grand Prix with Amsterdam. That's a good way to kick off the 5-star weeks.
Yeah, it was a fun week.
Back on the Saturday night, back in first place. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was great. You know, like, it was a brilliant result. That horse is such a history, and he's a fantastic horse, and it was a great win.
Well,
very enjoyable.
We're going to reflect on that now as well as we take a little look back at last week's fantastic 5-star Grand Prix. Like I say, kicking off what is a big run of classes coming up over the next few weeks. As I say, big Hunter Week this week. We've got upcoming Nations Cup and more 5-stars as well. But here was Darragh Kenny winning with Amsterdam, and in his own words, Darragh, what was this like? Talk us through some of this.
It was a fantastic feeling, you know, like, I've never actually won a 5-star Grand Prix down here.
Yeah.
So it was fun to do that. The horse felt in great form, and it was just an enjoyable night.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
The horse. Give us a little bit of background, because he went to an Olympics with Teddy Vlock.
Yeah.
Fill in the gaps.
Yeah, you know, he's an incredible horse. He was bought in Germany by Mario Delorier. Mario produced him, took him to a Pan Am's. We bought him for Teddy to ride. He went to the Olympics with Teddy. He was placed in 3 or 4 5-star Grand Prix with him. He was an incredible horse for him. Unfortunately, he had an injury after that. He fractured a bone in the back of his knee. He was out for a year and a half, and we just really took our time bringing him back to this level. And you know, he jumped a bit last year down here, and then he did a little bit during the summer. He finished up in the fall jumping in California, some bigger Grand Prix, and he felt like he was ready to go again. So it was fantastic to have him back at the top.
And he obviously felt good on Saturday night.
Yeah, he did. He felt amazing.
For you, I mean, I reckon, quick look down, you've won 5 international classes so far this season. It's not a bad start.
No, the horses have been going well. It's been a good winter so far. That was the icing on the cake, but they've all been doing great so far.
For you as well, it was an Irish 1, 2, 3 on the podium with Cian O'Connor there, and of course with Jordan Coyle as well. That obviously gets a good bit of support back from home.
Yeah, it does. It was a great result for all of us. Jordan was maybe the funniest because we were just saying, "Oh, it's great," and Jordan said, "Yeah, it's brilliant. Just the order is wrong," you know.
We've got a little bit of rundown from Saturday night there. 4 gold with Jordan. I mean, I'm always saying it's a smaller horse,
yeah,
but it's got a big heart.
Yeah, it's super jumper. Jordan does a brilliant job on it. He actually has only had it about a year now,
yeah,
and he's had fantastic results on it. It's a great horse.
Cian O'Connor, Maurice, new
Yeah.
step up for him with the former rider of Omar Karievli.
Yeah, exactly. New horse for Cian also. Cian is having a fantastic run this winter as well, and this horse looks to be a real horse for these big Grand Prix, which is great for all of us. Hopefully a few big Nations Cups as well.
And this guy didn't look too bad either.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal horse. He's definitely the best horse I've ever sat on in my life. He's the most talented, he's the most scopy, careful, he's so conventional to ride, and he's just a really impressive horse.
And in terms of how it played out on Saturday night, how did it feel for you? What was the strategy there?
Yeah, you know, like the horse felt in great shape. He felt really happy and good in himself. You know, I thought that this could be a Grand Prix that he could win, you know, and in the end it played all in my favour. You know, the boys before me, their horses are a little bit greener. My horse has plenty of experience, and luckily enough Kent had one down.
Well, we've got the whole round coming up for you. John French is also here on Kent's team, so you know he was obviously watching there. Let's take a look at your round from Saturday night in full from that jump off as well, and you can talk us through where the deed was done.
I think actually 1 to 2. That was Cian had 8 strides there. I had 7. You know, Cian did 7 here. I did 8, but that was kind of always my plan. I was able to get 1 less, 1 to 2, and then here, you know, the horse has so much talent. I could turn back really short to that Oxer and take quite a big risk, and I knew he had the scope to jump it, and he just kind of kept getting higher and jumping better.
And this turn we looked at sitting in commentary, that was one of the keys as well.
Yeah, he has great balance, the horse,
yeah.
You know, and he makes life easy, and that's very nice when in 5-star Grand Prix horse.
Well, good stuff, Darragh Kenny, and Amsterdam finished top of the 5-star Grand Prix there. Congratulations to them. We've got much to reflect on. John, we're going to talk hunters with you in a second. Grace Debney, 2 from 2 you are so far on the 2-star Grand Prix.
Yeah.
2 different horses. Last week it was Prix,
Yep.
and week before that with Zorana de Vidal. What's the success rate? Is that going to stay like that?
I hope so. We're gonna give it a shot. But I won't get too cocky.
Yeah. Run us down a little of how those 2 weeks have gone.
It's sort of just fallen into place, I think. I really clicked with the horse that I won on this past week, which feels incredible. I've had Zorina for 5 years, so I know her so well. I know she's always there for me. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like I've had a lot of luck, and my team has really pulled through, which is nice.
You say luck, but I know you've worked very hard at it, and you've been in both rings. You're probably watching him and you're watching him.
Yeah, exactly.
What have you gleaned watching these guys?
Well, I think watching the hunters and doing the hunters, it gave me, you know, a good equitation and a lot of style, which always helps. And then obviously my heart is really with the jumpers. But yeah, watching the big guys jump, it definitely helps, and you know, I'll take any tips I can get.
Here's from last Sunday with Prix. You were pretty on smoking form.
Yeah, it was like I said to Shane, I think it's the first time I've actually ridden her correctly, and I've had her for a year, so it was a good feeling.
You mentioned Shane in there. Shane Sweeten was on the ground there for you. You trained with Sam Schaefer and the team there. You've got a good team around you.
A super team, yeah. He sort of steps in. I really need someone on the ground before I go into class, and he's always right there, which I'm super grateful for. Sam and Kate can't be here every week, so he steps in when he can.
So when they're not here, you get the world number 12 to
Yeah.
give you a little bit of a jump and get you going.
Exactly.
You're going to be in the U25s this week as well. We're going to talk about that in a few moments' time. John, coming to you, like I say, it's been a busy day, but it's been a busy year last year as well. An amazing year for you. You're also the National Equestrian of the Year. How do you reflect on 2023?
Well, I just feel, incredibly lucky to have the 3 horses that I did, my 3 top horses that, won. To win one of those big classes throughout the year is, pretty special, but to win like 3 of the biggest ones on 3 different horses, it was just amazing year because of that. And those were 3 horses that I started from the very beginning, their hunter careers. So, like I said, when I won Equestrian of the Year, it was kind of like my children, that they got into some fancy college, and I must have done something right.
You must have definitely done something right. I mean, we're talking horses like Paradigm, we're talking Babylon, we're talking Milagro through last year. Of course, you won here last year as well as part of the WEF Hunter Spectacular as well. How did that set you up for the season, and how was this as part of your season?
Yeah, it's the first really big class of the year here, and you get so many people coming from California, Ocala. They've all come down for this class. It means everyone's trying to get into that class. Luckily, I had 1 bye last year and I had 2 byes this year, so I don't have to stress this week.
You can chill a bit
to whether I can make the class. So, but Milagro was a relatively young horse. He was only 8 years old last year, and and then this class, it was pretty amazing. I mean, I had to, I did the 4-foot, and then you have to come in last. All those classes, I ended up, on top in the first round.
Yeah.
So all those big classes, I had the pressure on, and to come back last and try not to mess up.
Get the job done. But you did. And just for those at home, remind us of those 3 big wins last year. Talk us through them.
They were the Spectacular here. They were the International Derby Finals in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that was Paradigm. Milagro was here, and then Babylon won the Professional Challenge class at Capital Challenge.
How did that, if you'd started the year, was that on your radar to get all 3 done like that?
No, I didn't really think I had many horses, for the year, and I just sort of didn't have many division horses. Babylon I only show maybe 2 or 3 times during the year, and in a class, because he was doing the junior hunters. Milagro was also doing the junior hunters, so I just showed him in a few derbies. Paradigm, just a few derbies. So I didn't really have that many horses to show, but I picked the right classes, I guess.
Turn it with the right horses
right
to the
time.
right classes, exactly. Tell us a little bit about the background to those horses. Give us a little bit of the characters of Babylon first.
Well, Babylon, Ken got him right before I moved here, which was a little over 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And, he showed me a video, and I just got this horse, and I couldn't tell the horse was jumping so high over the jumps and landing in a heap. And he came here, and he was a bit spooky. And that year we had COVID, didn't really get to do that much with him. And then the next year, Ken's like, okay, just go in the first year green. And I was like, go in the first year green, And he just progressed. And I mean, he's a funny horse. He's so much personality, and he was kind of a bad child. I mean, he's always doing things like taking his blankets off and taking the other horse in the stall next to him's blankets off and things like that. Paradigm, he's kind of like, your kid that studies and, doesn't mess around too much.
He's the studious one.
Yeah, he's real, like you say, studious and doesn't mess around too much.
And Milagro?
And Milagro is, he's just super athletic. He doesn't really know how athletic he is. So but he'll try anything. So you could just take a jump at some weird angle and he'll try it. You know, his name should have been Mikey, because it's kind of like Mikey will try anything.
Yeah, brilliant. Let's talk, because you've all ridden hunters. Have you ridden much jumping ever or not?
Yeah, I did show jumping. I've ridden on the team.
You've done your thing.
I've shown the World Cup finals and on several teams in Europe.
Just to remind everybody of that. For you, let's spark a little bit of where to start now. If you're starting in the sport now, John, you're going to take the case for the hunters. Why would you start in hunters?
Well, I think, you know, you've learned how to be smooth and soft, and sometimes, I mean, the jumpers you could start as long as you're doing it in the right steps. Sometimes you see people going too fast, too early. They're not ready for it. You know, we're not going to be doing that in the hunters. You know, if you're with a top trainer, you know, in the jumpers, and they know how to go slow, but I think hunters, and then people, you know, progress to equitation. And
Darragh, why would you start in jumpers?
It's just more fun.
Fight the case, come on.
Going fast.
Going
That's
fast.
the whole idea.
Going fast. Go for the...
Oh, listen, I think, you know, they in the United States here, they have a really good way of starting young kids and educating them, and, you know, the hunters and the equitation works really well. I personally love the jumpers. I think it's just more competitive. There's, you know, it's not judged by anybody else. You know, I find it can be more, you have to take more responsibility for it yourself, and that, I think, is more educational.
John, make the case for the hunters.
Yeah, I think the jumpers are, like I say, people go too fast, and I think most people, a lot of good riders started in the hunter ring, and Darragh used to do hunters.
Yep.
So I think, like I say, it just makes people ride smooth and soft, and then you can ride more.
The reality is there's something good
stronger.
in both. Yeah, exactly. And Grace is a product of that. Grace, you've ridden both the hunters and the jumpers. What did you glean from both? What do you say are the key bits that you have in your life that are in your riding style?
I started in the hunters, and then I just to back off of what John said, really just smoothness, and like it just teaches you style, really, and it does come in handy when you're in the jumper ring, even if some people don't think so. But I was lucky enough to get a jumper when I was young, so I was able to do both at the same time, which I think was really good for me, because I got to do both sides of it and learn from each kind of at the same time.
John, like you said, you had a very successful jumping career as well. Do you ever look back now and go, well, now I've learned what I've learned in hunters, I could apply that now?
Well, when I went doing jumpers definitely helped my hunter riding. I mean, I used to ride a little too loose and fly out of the saddle, and there was a little bit, you know, too much drama over the jumps. But then when I went to the jumpers, I mean, I couldn't really do that over the big jumps, so I would go flying off. So I think it made me a stronger rider, and got my flat work better, because, you know, in the jumpers, the hunters, you try to leave them alone, but in the jumpers, they need to be really well schooled on the flat. And so I think that's definitely helped my hunter riding as well.
The reality is all three of you are top of your game in what you do. You've done both, which has been a great attribute to it. Darragh, from you, we're talking riding there. I mean, you've been over in the United States for a long time now. How has it changed your style? What comes out of the US style?
I think a lot, you know, like I obviously spent 4.5 years with John Brennan and Missy Clark at North Run. I did 100 equitation lessons, and they were great fun. But it definitely, you know, like you see it now in jump offs and stuff like that. Like, I know what numbers to do. I know how to do the numbers. Like, I didn't know how to count strides in Ireland. We didn't have any of that, you know.
Yeah.
I learned that all here, and it definitely improved my riding. It improved my style. Again, what John said, you know, the flat work really improved a lot. And I enjoyed, you know, showing the hunters for them, and it was actually fun, and it was fun to kind of push yourself to be better at something else as well, you know, not just in the jumper ring. So I quite enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Missy's equitation lessons. They were actually brilliant. She's maybe one of the best at it. And it just gave me a lot more education on riding and how to be stylish and how to be correct and how to do the right numbers and how to count.
Yeah, John, do you get up to watch the jumping much and vice versa? Because obviously you have the working relationship with Kent Farrington that you mentioned a little bit earlier on. That's been a really interesting and successful partnership.
Yeah, I try to watch Ken when I can, you know, for sure on the big nights at Grand Prix and things. And, you know, at home, try to watch him schooling, or he has other top riders sometimes come over to the barn, and, you know, you can learn, you know, even though they're not doing the hunters, you can learn a lot from all of them.
How did that sort of partnership come about? Because you'd have thought you're in the same sphere in different spheres.
Yeah, I think Ken had some horses and he used to sort of hunters, and, you know, he likes, you know, all kind of, you know, hunters, jumpers, you know, he knows what a good horse is, and he would sort of outsource them out, and he decided he wanted it more in-house, and just called me up one day and said, "Did you want to move and work together with me?" And I said, "No, I just moved to Seattle, and I was gonna kind of wind down," and he's like, "Come on," and then he just kept bugging me like 3 or 4 times. We met, and finally I was like, "You know what, maybe I'll ramp it back up again and go some more."
And what do you say to him now?
And I'm very thankful that he did, you know, and he brought me out here. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been great. For you, as you say, you came over from West Coast, but actually you started over this way, didn't you? You were.
Yeah, I grew up
in Maryland.
I grew up in Maryland, but went to California for a little over 30 years.
And then back here on the East Coast, it's
Yeah.
been very successful. It was successful on both coasts, which is great. We're going to talk U25s as well. Like I say, it's going to be the Brain Juice U25 series here this week too. And we're going to take a look at the table as that sits. Of course, we had a team event a few weeks ago. We're back into Grand Prix as well to look at that. Hallie Grimes is at the top of the U25 series, the under-25 riders. Frances Derwin of Ireland in second, Maggie Jacobs after that, Ansgar Holchers in fourth, and Frances Nina Malave making up the top 5 as it stands at the moment in the U25 series. As I say, that kicks off back again this week. Top 3 in the Grand Prix just a few weeks ago was Grace Debney. Grace, we've talked hunters, we've talked jumpers. U25, how's it shaped into your world now?
I think it's a great series. I always loved doing it. I think it's really hard here. If you're doing the regular FEI classes, you're competing against 100 people that have probably gone to the Olympics. And so it can get a little bit difficult. It's really nice to just do it with your peers. It's good experience. You know, you get to jump the water a few times. You get to go under the lights. Some people don't have a horse that they can do that with other than the U25. So it's super fun. I think it's a really good series.
Top 3 in the opening Grand Prix. How are you feeling about this week?
I'm feeling good. I'm doing Zarina, so I don't know. I always feel good when I get to show her. She's been with me the longest, so I know her the best.
You've got behind you, you've got a medal in terms of bronze at the European Championships with the British team, despite the accent.
Yeah.
You are British born.
Yes.
How did that sort of help things through, and how does that now progress you?
It gave me a lot of confidence. I feel like I really learned a lot about my horse and about, you know, my riding. Just being over in Europe as a whole also really helped me. But yeah, it was intense. It was a lot of jumping. By the end, you're kind of like, okay, when is this going to end? But I had a lot of fun, and I feel like I learned a ton.
And for you, upcoming this week, have you really sort of put the nail down of what you're going to do this week in terms of what are you aiming at? We were top 3 last time. We obviously got to go to number 1 this time.
Yeah, well, I'll give it my best. I just have U25 this week, so I just have 1 horse to focus on, which is really nice.
And it's your birthday on Sunday.
Yes.
Yes, it is. 20?
Yes.
Yes, it's a big one. Good luck with that. So under 25 is coming up this week. Leading Emma's 150 series as well. Of course, that takes place each week here. Cian O'Connor is currently top of that table. In fact, it's an Irish 1-2. This is all looking a bit familiar. Shane Sweetnam is in second place at the moment, and Jad Dana in top 3. It's McLean Ward after that, and Conor Reagan as the top 5 here as it stands. That top 5 in that MS 150 leaderboard at the moment. To say that is all going to be part of this week as well. Of course, we're out on the field for the Cask Grand Prix this week as well, and for the under 25, so we're going to be heading over to that venue. Over at this venue is going to be the World Championship Hunter Rider Hunter Spectacular. Of course, last week as well, in case you missed it, was the new Hunter Team Event 2, which, Grace, you're on the winning team.
Yes.
Who was your team?
It was me, Brianne Goutal, and Clara Prop.
How did that work?
So you, I guess it's the Hunter version of the charity challenge a bit. You each take a turn, you each do your own round, and you each get a score, and then whoever at the end has the highest overall score wins.
Job done.
Yeah.
And you got it.
Exactly.
John, from your point of view this week, for those not familiar, how does this week work getting to that spectacular? Like you say, you've got a few options.
Yeah, there's certain people that have buys. You know, if you're a junior national champion or amateur national champion, or if you won the spectaculars, or the Capital Challenge, the special classes there. But other than that, it's it's just champion and reserve from each division of the 3, 6, and higher divisions, junior, amateur, and professionals. And then they go down. If champion and reserve is not decided not to go, then they will go down to the next person in that division.
But it's basically the best of the best for the week.
You've got to do well this week.
It seems pretty packed out there. It seems busy.
It's really busy, yeah. Yesterday, warming up and everybody wanting to get in the international ring, and this morning before the show, there was a lot of horses.
And what's your plan for the week? What's your aims for the week? What, in terms of horse-wise, and what do you want to do? I'm just hoping. I'm going to show Paradigm for one of my buys, and then the other horse, I'm not really sure who I'm going to use yet. I don't really have one that's, ready for that class other than Paradigm, so it depends if Babylon makes it, or with the junior. I hope he does, but if not, maybe there'd be a chance I would ride Babylon in the class, but hopefully he makes it in the juniors. Excellent. Fingers crossed. Look forward to it. And so, as I say, we're going to be just looking ahead to this week as well. Not only the Hunter Spectacular will be part of your Saturday night this week, so that's a little bit different this week. So Oliver Kennedy and team will be bringing you that, but also we'll be over on the field for the Cask Grand Prix as well. 3-star this week, and that Brain Juice U25 as well. We're going to wrap up with some questions for each of you that have been sent in. So we're going to take a look at those. And we're going to start off with Grace, I think, from that point of view. Going to give you, they're not too hard, don't worry.
Okay.
Nice, easy ones for you. Let's take a look at the questions for Grace that we've got this time around, and they're going to swing those in for us. And we're going to take a look at what that is going to be, and also got questions for Darragh. So, Grace, first, if you could ride any horse of any rider in the world, which one would it be? You've got your choice. Anyone right now. It could be Paradigm. You could be going in the Hunter direction, or you could be. Where do you want to go?
I think probably. God, now I can't think of her name. Ketrin Eckerman's horse.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's?
Yeah, the one that won
The
in.
chestnut.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one in Miami.
Yeah.
In Miami,
Yes.
the 2 years.
I would ride that one.
Yeah, take that one.
Yeah.
Definitely. Grace, so that's you. You've passed the test.
Okay.
From that point of view. Okay, let's take a look at the next of our questions, and that I think is going to be heading in a Darragh direction from that point of view, and see what we've got here for Darragh. And what was it like competing at the Olympics?
It was obviously very strange because it was the COVID Olympics, and so it was exciting to go. It was incredible to have that opportunity. It was a fantastic feeling to be able to be at an Olympics and represent your country like that. So for that part, it was amazing. There was obviously no people there, so there wasn't much of a crowd or cheering or anything like that.
The announcing was amazing.
The announcing was fantastic. Fantastic. But no, it was really cool. It was a really cool feeling to get the opportunity to do that and represent your country like that. It was fantastic.
And it was interesting, like you say, that there wasn't a crowd there, but it never felt empty. Was a sort of strange feeling to it.
Yeah, it was like I think they did a really good job putting it all together. You know, like there was obviously a lot of horse people there, and it was just fun to do it.
What were your nerves like that week? Because it was a big one for you.
I'm very lucky. I do not struggle with nerves.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but I just never am more. I get more motivated than sometimes I can be a bit too relaxed.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets me a little bit more motivated, which normally makes me concentrate a bit more, which normally has a good outcome.
John, do you get nervous, or are you like a Darragh?
No, I get nervous.
Yeah.
But like you said, nerves are good. You know.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too relaxed, so kind of get you thinking pretty sharp. But I definitely get nervous.
We've got your questions, John. A couple for you here as well. Let's take a look at what we've got for John French down here as well. Is going to be our next question coming up. And what qualities do you look for in a young horse?
I want a horse with a good attitude. You know, a horse that really wants to do it for you. For hunters, you know, you want something that's, you know, relaxed, just has a very calm way about him, and you know, and then I look for different things in their conformation. You know, I want a neck that's put on naturally, nice arch. You know, so even when you ride it kind of loose, it goes in a beautiful frame.
Which is the best example, would you say, of young horses that you've had that fits that bill?
Probably Milagro. Here's, you know, I would look at him and just want to buy him off of his beauty and how pretty he was, and his neck, and then he has like an amazing attitude.
Excellent. Good. We've got a second question for you as well, John. What is an important quality for your groom to have? Because you've got a great team around. You tell us a little bit about them and tell them their qualities.
You want a groom that, you know, really cares and is excited for the horse, and you know, you can tell when, you know, they watch the horse go and they talk to their friends, and they, you know, sometimes they're betting with their friends that their horse is going to win, but you want a groom that, you know, really cares about the horse and how he does, and you know, knows their personality, and because every horse is different, so you know, as long as they know to treat them differently.
Gives us a chance for you to give a little shout out to your team. Who are your team behind you? Who's the team on the ground?
Well, Kim Davidson is my manager, and you know, then we have a lot of grooms. We have a lot of different grooms, but Kim is the main person, and Carlos, Leo.
It takes a
I
village.
can't tell
It takes a
all of
village.
them.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, well, suffice to say, you're all off the hook now. You've got a big week ahead. Well, you've got a nice quiet week ahead.
Yeah.
This week, you're going to be relaxing. You've just got the horses to ride at home.
Yeah, easy week.
Easy week.
Concentrate on Frano trying to beat Grace over here.
Grace, a little bit busier for you, but U25s?
Yeah, not bad though.
That's a little bit of a steady week for you.
Yeah.
One win and done, and out on the
Hopefully.
Grand Prix. John, it's a fantastically busy week for you. Is it going to be morning, noon, and night?
Pretty much so, because tomorrow normally we just show ourselves, but we've got some of the kids, you know, they have to fit everything in this week and try to get it all done. So I'll be riding and training, which, you know, sometimes is a little difficult.
It'll keep you busy. You'll
Yeah.
have a great week. Good luck this week, John.
Thank you.
Good luck to all of you. Darragh, well
Thank
done
you.
last week. Well done, Grace, last week.
Thank
John,
you.
we're looking forward to you being number one this week as well. And thank you to all of those that are going to be joining us throughout this week. As I say, it's going to be Friday night. We've got classes to bring you as well through the hunter sections, the amateur section there, and then on Saturday night, of course, it is the Hunter Spectacular to enjoy. And also, we're going to bring you on Sunday. We're over jumping for the Cast Grand Prix on to Sunday afternoon as well. So lots going on this week, and as I say, also aside from that, Brain Juice U25 series, there's lots to keep up with here at Wellington International. You can do that through all our various streams that we'll be bringing you. Our thanks to USEF and to the USEF network, where you'll see much of that big competition taking place, and also to our sponsors across a lot of those big streams is Dodd Technologies, bringing you all of that as well. And as I say, our sponsors throughout the week too, not only the World Championship Hunter Rider Spectacular, looking forward to that, and the USHJ and all their involvement there as well, and also Brain Juice and Cask. All it remains to say is have a wonderful Valentine's night, whatever you're doing. We're going to walk off and just take those with us and have a lovely evening for all of us. Just a little nice, quiet enjoyment of what is going to be a big week here in Wellington. We'll see you very, very soon. Stay tuned.